contracts are awarded by the federal government and it's not well supervised, what could go wrong? And that's the case in Okahi local government area of Kogi State. The contract awarded and funded through the Ecological Fund to control drainage erosion and rescue the area from another flood disaster is yet to take proper shape. The chairman of the affected Okahi local government claims he has no knowledge of the project.
First, it was a long search to find out the location of the project. No one here, not even the chairman of the affected local government, had an idea. This is not going down well with the members of the House of Representatives Committee on Environment on the inspection tour. Finally, the supposed drainage project site is discovered. This construction here is set to cost 76 million naira.
That's the most important thing.
The chairman of the committee, Uche Ekwonife, could not hide her disappointment.
Can you justify this project? That federal government can embark on this kind of project. Just be frank to yourself, can you? Even as a local government chairman, can you think that a local government chairman can embark on this? So where is the starting point and where is the ending? Are you an engineer?
I am, please.
I'm an accountant, but I think I have common sense. Where did this start and where did it end? Assuming it's raining now, where is the collection point? And where are you going to discharge the flood?
When the project was new.
Not when. I'm asking you now. We are looking at the project. I don't think we need to tell this to them.
This is where the project.
Where will be the collection point? Assuming it's raining.
The collection point is from. The collection point, the water drains.
So where does it discharge to?
Into the.
No, because it didn't terminate anything.
No, it's going there. It's going there.
Mr. Hassan Yusuf is the chairman of Okahi local government. Though he claims not to be aware of this project, he confirms the local government is facing serious ecological problems.
There should be synergy between the federal government and the state government and the local governments, so that a project like this that's supposed to benefit my people should be more. I should be more concerned than even the people that are using it, because I am the local government chairman. Whatever I say, he will be the best thing, the best representation of that local government. So I thank God that the project is being carried out, but I feel that it doesn't really worth what they are doing here.
With this unannounced visit by the members of the House of Representatives, work on the 666 meters drainage project is projected to be completed by the end of March, going by the words of the site engineer. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
First Bank, truly the first.
With less hazards is what the NNPC is looking towards, concerning the decision of choosing between kerosene and cooking gas. Time for business news now with Jacka Rogers.
Thank you, Sulaiman. You're certainly right about that. Now, the House Committee on Petroleum Downstream was informed by the NNPC today that the scarcity of kerosene is due to the diversion of the product to neighboring countries, pipeline vandalism, and sharp practices of middlemen, among other problems. Now, this is a major concern for someone like the former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Mr. Nuhu Ribadu, who has appealed to President Goodluck Jonathan to do something about what he describes as the rot in the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. Now, Mr. Ribadu believes that such a clampdown by the presidency will portray the government as effectively fighting corruption, while supporting the invitation of independent auditors to investigate the NNPC's accounts. Mr. Ribadu says only a strong political will can address the sharp practices in the nation's oil sector.
A forensic accounting and a thorough investigation will definitely make sense. We want to know what is being taken out from the ground. We want to know the crude oil coming out from the ground. We want to know the process of selling it. We want to know who is buying it. We want to know what comes out of that buying. We want to know where the money is going, who is taking what. And I think it is fair for Nigerians to demand for that. And the only person who can take the lead and make that possible is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today.
The challenges facing Nigeria's education sector has once again taken center stage. This time, the public and private sectors are coming together to chart a course for the revamping of the education sector at the forthcoming Nigeria Economic Summit. Our correspondent Bolaji Akiwale reports that the Joint Planning Committee for the 20th edition of the summit, scheduled to hold in Abuja, has been inaugurated.
The Supervising Minister for the National Planning Commission, Ambassador Bashir Yuguda, and members of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group at the inauguration of the Joint Planning Committee for the 20th edition of the Nigeria Economic Summit coming up in Abuja. Drawing from last year's edition of the program, which focused on agriculture and adjudged successful, the Minister of the National Planning Commission is optimistic that this year's conference will build a national consensus to revamp and reinforce the education sector.
The commitment in terms of resources, in terms of manpower, it is what is going to be discussed extensively. We believe that will propel the nation to move to the level that we all dream and desire, and we are very happy that all of us here are products of the good education that we've had over the years.
The chairman of the group, Felicia Phillips, describes this year's meeting as one with a lot of benefits for the country.
We are going to be honest with ourselves. The educational sector is not being successful. We are all moaning about it. We feel the pain, and it is that awareness and that sensitivity that's making us deal with that issue now.
And with the inauguration of the Joint Planning Committee, getting it right with the education sector is seen as key for the growth of the country's economy.
You can imagine the state of affairs in our country and what might have happened if we have been quiet in the last 20 years. How much worse the situation could be.
It is not enough to talk the talk, but also implement the recommendation of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group when the event comes to an end in March. This has become very important as all stakeholders are optimistic that it will be result-oriented and address the challenges facing the education sector. Bolaji Akiwale for Channels Television News.
Now let's take some company news. Shareholders of Orlando PLC have thrown their weight behind the company's plans to raise 250 billion naira through a combination of rights issues, bonds and global depository receipts. In a statement to the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the energy firm pointed out that of this amount, 50 billion naira will be from a rights issue. Investors in the oil firm also agreed to increase its share capital base to 7.5 billion naira from 5 billion naira previously. Last month, Orlando announced plans to raise 250 billion naira to fund a $1.79 billion acquisition of ConocoPhillips' Nigerian oil field, causing Orlando's shares to fall sharply. Let's take you through Tuesday's activities at the Nigerian stock market. Harriet Agbayi reports that a cautious trading leaves key indicators at 38,972.56 points.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Key indicators at the Nigerian equities market appreciated marginally by 0.02% on the second trading day of the week as investors trade cautiously, while the all-share index ended the day's session at 38,972.56 points with the market capitalization of 12.53 trillion naira. Market breadth was still negative as 30 stocks recorded price declines as against 26 gainers. Nigerian breweries consolidated on the gains logged on Monday, adding 2 naira to its share price and is trailed by Dangote Cement and International Breweries. But Guinness shared 9 naira 60 kobo from its share price to top the losers list, which also had Lafarge Wapco Cement, Unilever, Okomo Oil and Presco PLC. Skybank, Zenith Bank and FCMB PLC were the most actively traded stocks on the exchange today. At the end of the day's trade, 475.59 million shares were exchanged in 6,074 deals for 4.22 billion naira. Well, those are the day's trading figures. I'm Harriet Agbayi.
Thank you, Harriet. That's it on business news. On the news at 10, we'll leave you with those other market figures from around the world before Sulaiman returns with the rest of the news at 10.
First Bank, truly the first.
Also ahead on the news at 10, World Football Governing Body FIFA confirms Curitiba as venue for the Brazil 2013 World Cup. That's on sports news. Stay with us.